There is a kind of empathy that feels beautiful, and there is a kind of empathy that feels like a cage. From the outside, both look the same. You're understanding. You're patient. You give people the benefit of the doubt. You absorb tension in the room before anyone else notices it. But inside, you are exhausted. You feel responsible for emotions that aren't yours. You feel guilty for boundaries you haven't even set. You feel anxious when someone is upset, even if you did nothing wrong. And here is the uncomfortable question. What if your empathy isn't just kindness? What if it's conditioning? What if your nervous system learned that attunement equals safety? Today we're exploring something rarely discussed. The nervous system trap of empathy. Not empathy as virtue. Not empathy as identity. But empathy as survival pattern. If this already feels familiar, stay with me. This may not just be insight. It may be relief. Number 1. When empathy begins as adaptation. Empathy is often described as a personality trait, but in many cases, it begins as adaptation. Imagine a child growing up in an emotionally unpredictable environment. Maybe there was anger. Maybe there was withdrawal. Maybe there was subtle tension that was never spoken aloud. The child learns something quickly. If I can sense shifts in mood early, I can stay safe. So they scan. They monitor tone changes, facial expressions, micro-expressions, breathing patterns, silences. Over time, this scanning becomes automatic, not conscious, not chosen, wired. The nervous system links attunement with survival. Empathy, in this case, is not softness. It is vigilance. And vigilance feels like responsibility. Number 2, Carl Jung and the adapted self. Carl Jung spoke about something he called the persona, the version of ourselves we construct to survive the world. For many empaths, the persona becomes the understanding one, the peacemaker, the emotionally mature one, the strong one. But beneath that persona may live a nervous system that learned. Conflict is dangerous. Disappointment leads to withdrawal. Others' emotions determine my safety. When empathy forms under these conditions, it is no longer free. It becomes compulsive. You don't just feel others. You feel responsible for stabilizing them. And that is where the trap begins. Number 3, the subtle difference between empathy and hypervigilance. Let's separate two things that often get confused. Healthy empathy says, I can understand how you feel. Hypervigilant empathy says, I must manage how you feel. The first is connection. The second is survival wiring. Hypervigilant empathy shows up as a apologizing quickly, even when unsure, a over-explaining to prevent misunderstanding, a feeling tension when someone is quiet, a taking emotional temperature constantly, a struggling to relax around intense personalities. You may think this is emotional intelligence, but it may be your nervous system anticipating threat. And anticipation is exhausting. If you've ever wondered why you feel drained after being around certain people, even when nothing obvious happened, this is often why. Your nervous system never left monitoring mode. Number 4, why narcissistic dynamics activate the trap. Narcissistic personalities thrive in emotional instability. They may alternate between warmth and withdrawal, approval and criticism, closeness and distance. For a nervous system trained in vigilance, this feels familiar. Familiar does not mean healthy. It means recognized. Your body already knows how to survive unpredictability, so it adapts again. You become even more empathetic, even more understanding, even more patient. But underneath that patience is activation. You are trying to stabilize the emotional field, because somewhere deep inside, your nervous system believes, if they are calm, I am safe. This is not weakness. It is wiring, and wiring can be rewired. Number 5, the guilt reflex. One of the clearest signs of the nervous system trap of empathy is irrational guilt. Someone is upset, you feel responsible. Someone withdraws, you replay conversations. Someone criticizes, you immediately self-examine. Even when logic says, "This isn't mine," your body still reacts. Why? Because your nervous system learned early that disharmony meant danger. So guilt becomes a preemptive repair attempt. If I take responsibility quickly, maybe things won't escalate. But in adulthood, this reflex can keep you trapped in dynamics where you constantly self-adjust while others rarely do. Number 6. The freeze response hidden inside empathy. Empathy is often associated with softness, but sometimes it hides a freeze response. When conflict appears, you may go quiet, over-agree, lose access to your anger, feel foggy, struggle to articulate what you feel. This is not because you lack boundaries. It's because your nervous system is prioritizing safety over expression. Jung spoke about the shadow, the parts of ourselves we disown. For many empaths, anger lives in the shadow, not because it doesn't exist, but because expressing it once felt dangerous. So instead of anger, you offer understanding. Instead of confrontation, you offer compassion. And over time, you forget what it feels like to take up space. And if this kind of deep psychological exploration resonates with you, gently like the video. Number 7. The identity attachment to being the empath. Another layer of the trap is identity. You may take pride in being the strong one, the emotionally aware one, the healer, the safe place. But when identity fuses with empathy, boundaries can feel like betrayal. If I stop absorbing, am I still kind? If I stop fixing, am I still valuable? If I stop understanding, who am I? This is where individuation begins. Because empathy must move from identity to choice. Choice is sovereignty. Identity can be a cage. Number 8. What happens in the body when you stop managing others? Something remarkable happens when you stop managing other people's emotions. At first, anxiety increases. Silence feels uncomfortable. Tension feels unresolved. Your body urges you to fix it. But if you stay still, your nervous system begins recalibrating. You realize you are safe even when others are dysregulated. You are safe even when someone misunderstands you. You are safe even when someone is disappointed. This realization is not intellectual. It is embodied. And embodiment is what frees empathy from survival mode. Number 9. From compulsive empathy to conscious empathy. Conscious empathy feels different. It says, I can understand you without absorbing you. I can care without collapsing. I can witness without managing. This is the shift from reflex to regulation, from hypervigilance to grounded presence, from survival to sovereignty. You don't lose empathy. You refine it. You stop leaking. You start choosing. Number 10. The Jungian return to the self. Jung believed psychological maturity requires the integration of all parts of the psyche: light and shadow, softness and strength, compassion and boundary. When you reclaim your anger from the shadow, empathy stabilizes. When you allow yourself to disappoint others without collapsing, empathy strengthens. When you stop equating harmony with safety, empathy becomes clear. This is individuation, not becoming colder, becoming whole. Number 11. The moment the trap breaks. The trap breaks quietly, not through confrontation, but through one internal decision. I am not responsible for regulating everyone. That sentence alone can feel destabilizing, but it is also liberating. Because when empathy is no longer tied to survival, it becomes powerful. You no longer over-explain. You no longer chase reassurance. You no longer monitor constantly. You rest. And rest is something a hypervigilant nervous system rarely experiences. Finally, empathy was never meant to exhaust you. Empathy was never meant to deplete you. It was meant to connect you. If your empathy feels heavy, anxious, or compulsive, it may not be your heart that needs fixing. It may be your nervous system that needs safety. And safety begins with permission. Permission to let others feel what they feel. Permission to not intervene. Permission to exist without monitoring. If you made it this far, maybe you're not too sensitive. Maybe you adapted brilliantly, and now you're allowed to evolve. If this brought clarity, subscribe to the Mind Kit. More conversations like this are coming. Calm, deep, integrative, because healing is not loud. It is steady, and it begins inside the body that finally feels safe enough to stop scanning.